right now. This your girl Barbie J here, and I am coming to you with Tyler Perry's comedy drama Sistas, Season 6, Episode 9, True Colors. And honey, I must admit that this was definitely one of the most exciting episodes this season, even though there were some slow parts in it at the end. I mean, it was all that. I think I was so glad, I was so hyped because it made it very exciting, exhilarating, and even though there was some bad acting in there, when they were breaking up the fight, Danny looked like she was laughing too much and she wasn't serious enough. But anyway, let's jump right in and chat about this. But first, if you haven't subscribed to my channel as of yet, please take a moment right now and hit that subscribe button and then hit the notification bell and select all, and it'll let you know every time that I upload some new content to this channel. Then I ask that you hit the like button, which is the thumbs up button, write a comment and share. Now let's begin, y'all, honey, because this was good. It starts off with Fatima walking into Karen's apartment, and the girls are all sitting there, and Karen jumps up saying, I know this biatch didn't walk up in my apartment like she pays rent. And Fatima's like, that's what happens when you leave the damn door open. Then added that she got your biatch, and then she said if she was paying rent in this place, it would look a lot nicer than this ish. And I said, ooh. And Karen tells her to get the F out of her house, and Fatima said, put me out. And I was like, oh, here we go. And Andy, get this biatch out of my house. She said, get your friend. Ain't she your friend, out of my house? And Andy asked Fatima to leave, to please leave. You know, this is Karen's apartment. And then she says, don't forget, I'm your boss. And Fatima said, yeah, from 9 to 5. And Andy turned and said, oh, that's a valid point. I said, damn, Andy is no help whatsoever. Then Fatima said she'll leave as soon as she says that what the F she came to say. And Karen said, biatch, get the F out. And Fatima said, what the F you gonna do? It's got real crazy, y'all. And then Fatima tells her she gonna make one thing clear. And Karen pushes Andy onto the couch. I said, damn. And my sister said, Andy's looking very thin. Did anybody else notice that? They saying she's looking as thin as Karen. And she was a little bit heavier than she's felt that. And and Andy had a little butt on her. So I have to look at it again. But I don't know. That's what my sister had noticed. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about that. Anyway, she made her point. Fatima tells her points, and she said, let me make one thing clear. Zach don't want you, okay? So cut out the BS. Stop coming on to him and trying to entice him. Stop telling him that you want him to come and F you. Karen is like, Andy, get this bitch out of my house now. And the only thing that's sparing your ass is, the Fatima said, right now, is that baby you're carrying, and we don't even know whose that is. I said, ooh, another low blow. I was like, uh-oh. So Karen kept popping off with the mouth, and Fatima told her if she keep this ish up, she gonna show her ass crazy for real. And Fatima told Andy, you better tell your friend, that's your friend, you better tell her basically how crazy she could get, because she met Madam, she know the family now. And then Zach came rushing in and said, I knew you were up to something. I knew it wasn't. Fatima's like, you surprised? And Fatima said, you were supposed to be asleep because I put it on you real good. You were supposed to be out all night. I said, oh. And Fatima was looking at Karen as she said that. Karen rolled her eyes up in her head. I said, oh, snap. So Karen tells Zach he better take his biatch home, and the girls are saying, please take her home. This stress is not good for the baby. You know, they all pacifying her and all of that stuff, and she the one that caused all this mess. That's what gets on my nerves. So Karen started with you trying to make me lose this baby. And Fatima said, no, I want you to leave my man alone, period. And then Karen tells Fatima that her effing man is the father of her child, and she gets go and say, you don't believe me? And she go and get this envelope and slaps against Zach's chest saying, here you go, baby. And Fatima said, like, don't you do that ish again. Do it again. You know, it was all of that. And meanwhile, Zach is still trying to get Fatima to leave. And that's when Aaron comes in. And Aaron shows up asking, what's going on? And he clearly sees and hears Zach is trying to get Fatima to leave. And Karen is saying, I'll calm down when this biatch is out of my house. And then Aaron tells Zach he thinks he should go. And Zach said, don't say ish to me. Then Fatima cut her eyes over at Aaron. And Aaron said, so what are you still doing here? Just go. That's when Fatima stood in front of Zach and looked at Aaron and stepped towards him with that, I will F you up face if you say another word to my man. So while Zach is telling him he'll F him up and to leave him alone, Fatima's staring him down. So Zach is begging her to leave and Fatima still wasn't moving. I thought she was going to let Aaron have it. And Aaron didn't say another word after that. And she wanted Zach to pick up that envelope too. She kept asking Zach to pick it up. And he told Fatima he ain't picking that ish up. Now let's go. And Karen tells Zach to pick up the envelope and Zach ignores her. You don't want to see about your second child? She's yelling stuff and Zach is trying to talk Fatima down off a ledge and get her to leave. But Fatima is only staring at Karen with that I'm going to hurt you look. And this starts with the tell her how much you love me. That's what Karen starts with that. Tell her how much you love me, Zach. Tell her about the coffee shop and how hard you were under the table. And tell her about the sex in the bathroom. And Zach said, you lions. He said, don't do that. And he said, that was 3 years ago. And he said, you're effing lying. Why are you trying to make it seem like something happened? Then Karen keeps telling him to pick up the paper. What's wrong with you? Pick it up. And you can see that Fatima wants to beat that ass. She wants to mess Karen up. And Andy starts begging Fatima to please leave while calling herself holding Karen back. Then you see Sabrina's supposed to be holding Karen back. And then Zach finally gets Fatima to leave as Karen is telling him he needs to tell her that he's the baby's father. Why is he afraid to pick up the paper? Zach told her this is embarrassing. And she yells nasty things at him, telling he's a punk or something like that. She was yelling. I don't know. Anyway, then Karen decides she's going to turn on Andy, get mad at Andy, blaming Andy for all of this, telling her she invited her to her house and didn't get her out. And what Andy going to do to Fatima? What can she do? And she didn't invite her. You left that door unlocked and Jack told her you're going to let the wrong person in and she didn't listen. And now she's trying to blame everybody. Then she turned to all of them and said, all you biatches need to get up out of my house. And they kept trying to get her to calm down, saying it's not good for the baby. Like I said, pacifying her. She calming. She making her own self upset. Then Danny told, and she's making herself upset. Y'all know why? Because she embarrassed. Karen is embarrassed right now and she a little bit unstable. You know, she expected all this undying loyalty from her friends or else they aren't real friends for her. She wants everybody to co-sign on her nonsense. She needs to stop. And they need to stop, like I said, coddling her the way that they do. Because all of this mess is her fault. All of it. So, like I said, she told all them biatches to get up out of. She called them all biatches, get up out of my house, get up out of my house. And I said the only reason she's doing that is because she's embarrassed now. She's embarrassed and about to have her BS, exposed. And it was being exposed. That's why she wanted them out. It's the same way she was trying to act in the penthouse when she lied on lied about Zach to Fatima. And they were looking at each other like, why is she lying like that? So that's what Karen was doing again. But then I like that Danny told Karen that y'all came up in my house unannounced, claiming that you love me and I ain't leaving nowhere and going nowhere, because we love you. And Sabrina's like, we're not going anywhere. She's holding her, we're not going anywhere. We love you. And she's like, just get out. But then Aaron's like, I came at the wrong time and all this stuff. And Danny said, maybe the right time, wrong, maybe the wrong time. I don't know. But then she started with you came anyway. You acting like you care about her, but you show up unexpected, unannounced. He trying to act like somebody else did that, but he did the same thing. Oh, Aaron just works my last nerve. He's just like, whatever. So he finally left too. And the girls finally came out of the apartment because Karen didn't want them there. And they all came out the apartment. And when they get out there, both Zach and Aaron are still out there. And they want to know why they both are standing there. And they going back and forth. And he's like, Aaron's like, I'm staying here as long as he's standing there. He's like, Zach said, I'm good. I'm just minding my business. I'm waiting here. And he's like, why don't you just go home? Fatima, he said, I'm staying here. Zach said, because I'm concerned that Fatima, making sure Fatima don't double back and come here after I leave. And they were like, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's, I think that was Danny. And then, but then Andy comes up with this idea, you know what? I will stay here and wait while, you go and make sure Fatima's there. He said, and what if Fatima comes back? What you gonna do? And Danny co-signed and go, yeah, right? Because you was no help up in there. And he was like, oh, I'm like the worst friend, huh? I'm just the worst friend. And she walked away and said, I'm leaving. And then Danny said she's leaving because she got a date. And Sabrina was trying to get her to stay, but she didn't. So Sabrina had to stay. And she got, Zach waited till Fatima got home and she left. Meanwhile, Aaron started with this, so you the baby's father and all this stuff. And Zach is like, I'll find out whether that is true or not when I'm ready and all this stuff, going on. And so Zach finally left when he knew Fatima was home. And then Aaron was still there, and Sabrina told him that he could leave now and stuff. And he's like, I really want to go back in and check on Karen. And she's like, no, Karen will be fine. I'll check on her. You just go ahead. And she's like, do I smell alcohol? Because Zach had already said he smelled alcohol. And that's when Aaron had made that comment about, oh, you probably got a bunch of little babies running around or something like that, kids running around. And Zach was like, dude, you don't know nothing about me, so just mind your business or whatever. And that's when his phone rang and he knew that Fatima was home. So he left. Then Sabrina was talking to Aaron, and she said, have you been drinking? She could smell it. And he was like, I only had one drink or something like that. She said, yeah, but you're in recovery. And he's like, all due respect, it's none of your business. She's like, well, you acting like you care about Karen and you want to go in there and you got alcohol on your breath. And I love Karen. Oh, it was all of that. He was sickening. But she finally got him to leave and she went in the house. The door's wide open. Karen's sitting on the couch with her gun in her hand. And she's like, why is the door open? She said, I'm waiting for that biatch to come back. And she's telling her she's not coming back. And Karen's just getting all crazy and stuff and acting like she's being set up and all of this stuff. And Zach's trying to gaslight her and yada, yada, yada. Then she's talking about I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call Karen. And she was like, no, you're not. She took the phone away from her. And Sabrina's trying to get her to relax and to think about the baby. And Karen's like, well, they're not thinking about the baby. And she's like, yeah, well, guess what? You have to think about the baby. You're carrying it. What you talking about? They not thinking about it. They're not carrying no baby in their stomach, dummy. That's how you know she's losing it. She is losing it. I don't know what, she's very unstable right now. So Karen finally goes to bed because Sabrina won't leave. She goes in her bedroom and Pam shows up and asks what's going on. And Sabrina tells her nothing is going on. And she says, well, it looks like something going on. She said, believe me, nothing's. And she's asking questions and Sabrina's trying to answer them. And she says, she just came to check on Karen because Karen hasn't been answering her phone. So that's how it ended. And Sabrina got Pam to leave with her. Now we have Maurice and Calvin scene. And Maurice is telling Calvin how kind and sweet Sabrina is, and she didn't deserve this. Why did he have to, and why, talking about Q, why did he have to involve Sabrina? And that's what he's mad about. It seems like that's why he's mad and want to have him killed, because he included Sabrina, and Sabrina would do anything for anybody. And Calvin keeps telling him Sabrina's going to be right. I mean, all right. You're getting more upset than Sabrina, and Sabrina's the one who's going through this. You're the one who slept with him, and you're the one who brought him in the house. And he's like, you trying to make me feel worse? And he's like, no, but I guess he's just trying to get him to understand. And so, after them talking, Maurice decides he's going to go in his room, and he turns and looks at Calvin and told him to get that damn ugly furniture out of his house. I mean, even Sabrina said it was tacky looking. Anyway, then we see Zach comes home and he's talking to Fatima. Asking her why did she go over there? And he's trying to talk to her and let her know that she was wrong and she shouldn't have did that. And she was like, why didn't you pick up that envelope? And he said, I wasn't going to pick up that envelope and open it in the midst of all of that drama. He said, I wasn't going to do that. That's embarrassing. And like I said, he told Fatima she was wrong, and she finally admit that she knows she was wrong. But she says sometimes you gotta let a biatch know where you stand with stuff. And he kept telling her, you gotta trust me. But she was like, I've been nice. I've been smiling in her face. I've been real patient. But enough is enough. I'm tired of her ass. I said, oh, okay, girl. I know you tired of her because I'm tired of her too. Just listening to and watching this, girl. Zach is like, I just want a happy life where she's not in the middle of it. And Fatima's like, how we gonna do that if the baby is yours? And Zach is like, we still don't know if it's mine or not. And Zach said he didn't look at the paper because Karen never even got his DNA. So she don't know if he's the father or not. And Fatima's like, well, she got the preachers. And if it's not his, then it got to be yours. Zach said, we don't know that either. And I was sitting there going, he right about that because for some reason I have a feeling that Zach might know that Karen had a side piece. They never mentioned it, but in season 1, we knew about this guy Rico and how much he cared about her and loved her. And then he said he was getting married, so Karen couldn't get none of his ding dong anymore from him. And I'm sitting there going, maybe Zach knew about that side piece and just never said nothing. You know how TP write these things, it'll come up. But I like the fact that he said, we don't know that. You don't know if she been with somebody else. She didn't even tell her girls that she had slept with the preacher. They found out from Fatima, I think, or something like that. They was like, say, what? Oh, y'all, and I forgot one important part. How did y'all let me even forget this part? The fact that before the girls left, Danny picked up that envelope and Andy kept saying, no, don't open it, leave it. And Danny was like, oh, hell no. She's like, I'm tired of all of this nonsense. And she opened it and looked at it and put it back in the envelope. And they was like, and then threw it back on the couch. And they like, what did it say? What did it say? And it was like, she said it was a blank piece of paper. And you just saw their faces like, what? Now they all need to know this girl is playing games. It was a blank piece of paper. Karen is playing games, y'all. So I don't know what's going on, but her girls need to get her some serious help and stop coddling her right now. She needs help, therapy or something, because all of that stuff she was saying to Andy and stuff she was saying to Sabrina, thinking everybody after her. So this is crazy. They trying to make me lose the baby. You trying to make you lose the baby. You losing your damn mind, girl. Anyhow, Zach was telling Fatima she can't go near Karen anymore or whatever. And he was like, he was having a hard time talking to her. He was like, I can't talk to you when you like this. And she said, well, I'm calm. He said, this is calm. He said, look, I'm going to bed. And he kissed her and she was trying to stay downstairs. And he said, wait a minute. Where you going? She's like, I'm staying down here. So Zach was like, So he went and put a chair and he sat there while she sit on the couch. And he said he gonna sit there and watch her. And she's like, fine. I was like, she's so crazy. No, they so crazy. Because he had to make sure his boo do not leave that house again. So now we have Hayden calling Gary saying that he filed the annulment papers, but now he doesn't know how to tell Tamara because he doesn't want her to leave him. Gary's like, just tell her. But Hayden is like, I haven't had it like this in a long time or something like that. And then Gary asked if he was willing to risk it all for this girl. And Hayden said no. So Gary's like, man, if you ain't gonna listen to me, forget it. He's like, just get off my phone. And so Hayden was upset with Gary's advice, but he knew he was right. And so he hung up and then he goes into his house and Tamara's in this little pretty purple lingerie. And Hayden tells Tamara they need to talk. And he tells her that she didn't, she said, oh, this seems like it's something important. Did I do anything wrong? And he said, no, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just the marriage is too soon. And she's upset and asks, does he want a divorce? And he explains it's not a divorce. It's an annulment because we've only been married a short time. And she says she doesn't like it. Why can't we just wait to see how things go and stuff like that? But he tells her how he feels and asks her not to be mad. And she says, she's going to go to bed and she'll be gone in the morning. And Hayden is standing there looking pitiful because he is so upset, feeling like he made a bad decision. So now we have Danny and Preston out to dinner eating. And when he asked her, is something wrong? Because she was quiet the entire ride in the car, and she said it's Karen and Zach. It was Karen, and then she said it has to do with Zach, and then Preston lets Danny know that he spoke to Zach about the way he acted towards Karen, in front of Fatima. And Danny is like, really? You saw that? And he said, yeah. Then she adds, it's funny. You can see Zach's mess so clearly, but when it comes to us, you're confused and unsure and dumbfounded. And Preston's like, okay. Sometimes I am, but I'm getting better. He's to letting her know. And she's like, she kept saying stuff and he was like, you're obviously looking for an argument. And she was like, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to make a point. He said, okay, you got that, but I never ignored you or mistreated you around anybody, and Danny's like, yeah, okay, fine, but I do remember you trying to make me jealous in front of somebody. So then Danny wants to know more about what Preston said to Zach, and he tells her, and she said he gave Zach some good damn advice. And Preston said, thank you. Now we have Sabrina calling Andy to check on her to see if she was okay. And Andy says she shouldn't be talking to me like that, talking about Karen. And Sabrina's like, I know. And she lets her know that she stayed a little later just to see how she was, and that she probably gonna go back and check on her. And so Sabrina asked Andy, do she want her to come over? And Andy said no, because Gary's coming over. So they hang up because Gary arrives, and Gary asks her if she's okay, and he wants to hold her. And she's like, oh, please, we're past that, holding me and comforting me and stuff. Look, I'm upset. I don't feel good, and you always make me feel good. So are we going to do this or not? She just want to have sex. And Gary's like, are you serious with this right now? And she's like, what? What's the problem? Tell me you're not that guy or something like that. And she said, are we going to have sex at night? And he's like, no, because I think you're in a strange place right now. And she's like, what? So she goes to her phone and he asks her what she's doing. And she said, I'm calling someone who wants to have sex with me, And he got mad about that, and he was leaving, and he said, whomever you call won't be able to F you like I do. And Andy said, or F me over like you do. And he said, I see you who you are now. I see your true colors. Hence the title of the episode, right? Anyway, then it ends with Maurice showing up at the police precinct and asking Logan. He gets in there to see Detective Logan, and he says, are you the attorney handling this case? I said, he's not an attorney. He is supposed to be a detective. And I'm like, this is what happened when Tyler Perry allows them no time to learn their lines, and they saying the wrong things. And then we all get online here arguing with each other with little mixed messages saying they said this or said that, but it's probably an error in the script because they can't remember all their lines that quick, and Tyler Perry only does one take. So anyways, Maurice sits down and he says, me and Q committed the crime and Sabrina had nothing to do with it. And it went off like that. So y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about this episode. Like I said, I like the beginning part of it. It was so exciting and thrilling. But after that, it started going a little slow and flat for me. But I guess they couldn't keep it up for the whole episode, Next week doesn't look like it's going to be very exciting if you ask me. But anyway, put it down in the comment section what y'all thinking. And again, for those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel, please take a moment and do so now. And don't forget to like, comment, and share. It's your girl Barbie J saying, see you in the next video. Peace.